Hello again. Now, Liberia has taken a massive step in the fight against gender-based and sexual violence. President George Weah's government has declared rape a national emergency. A number of measures have been introduced to fight the scourge. Now, these include setting up a national sex offenders registry and a national security task force to deal with GBV. Let's chat now to Liberian journalist Anthony Stevens. He's in Monrovia to tell us more about what's being done. Anthony, a very good morning, and thanks so much for your time. Let's just go into the background, and we know that many countries, ourselves included, have recorded many more incidents of gender-based violence, rape and abuse during the time of COVID-19 and lockdown. What's been happening in your country to warrant the president declaring such a noble move? And yes, it is very admirable. We wish many other countries had done that.
Thanks. There's been a rapid increase in rape in the country, a rapid increase in incidents of rape and other sexual and gender-based violence offences. Prior to COVID-19, we had those cases reported, but the level of prevalence has not been as massive as it is now. So we've had a massive number of we've had massive numbers of rape cases, sexual and gender-based violence cases reported in recent times. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, according to the statistics that they released in the past few months, they've said that we've had over 100 cases, for example, in the past few months alone. So that prompted the president's response. Prior to that, some rights activists of all sexes and backgrounds had protested for 3 days, asking the president to declare rape and other gender-based violence offences a national emergency. The president didn't show up at any of those protests, but subsequently he did call a cabinet meeting, and subsequently there was a 2-day conference held on the matter last week. And then his office issued a statement last Friday detailing some of the measures that he's put in place.
Yeah, just looking at the measures that he's put in place, looking at the task force and the National Sex Offender Registry as well, just given the past and the history in Liberia as well, do you see these as effective measures? Do you, and also that you will know who's been put in charge of those, who will lead them? Are they the right people doing the right things? Do you think that this will actually bring results?
Well, the prosecutor has not been named. Yes, the government did say to the president's office that a prosecutor has been appointed, or a prosecutorial office has been appointed or has been set up, but we don't know the name of the prosecutor yet. The other details have not been released to the public, but these are just initial steps, like the Mansion mentioned last week. As to whether they are going to get the desired results, it remains to be seen, because putting in place these measures is one thing, and ensuring that they are actually enforced and applicable is another thing. So the challenge for the Weah administration has been enforcement. So that's a very good move he's made. Many people have hailed him, but the key challenge could be enforcement. So that's where everybody is watching to see what happens next.
All right. Well, often here in a country like ours, Anthony, we often see, if we look at reasons, we look at socio-economic reasons. During the lockdown, things like alcohol came into play as to what contributed to the high incidence of violence, sexual violence against women and girls. We know that in the history of Liberia, the 14-year civil war, we know rape was commonplace there. Has anyone been able to gauge what particularly might have caused this resurgence, or might have caused the high numbers that you're seeing at the moment, or is it also being based on the history of the country as well?
Well, the history of the country could be one factor. The other factor could be that because of COVID-19, many people aren't doing a lot of things. People are sitting home because there have been many cases of sexual and gender-based violence offences reported rapidly in the past few months of the outbreak, as opposed to pre-Ebola, pre-COVID-19, sorry. So that could be another factor. It could also be that because not much has been done in terms of punishment for those who commit these acts. So it could be a combination of several factors. So yes, the country's war pass could be one factor. The issue of taking some firm decisions on people who are accused or who are convicted of these acts could be another factor.
Okay, journalist Anthony Stevens, thank you so much for that. Just telling us about Liberia declaring rape a national emergency after a spike in cases. We hear our president naming a 5-point emergency plan to tackle gender-based violence a couple of months ago. And I wonder if that would be a move for us to make as well, declaring it a national emergency.
President Ramaphosa has also called it a second pandemic after coronavirus. Now, if it's a second pandemic, why don't you declare it a national emergency?
Just an emergency.
Why don't you declare a national emergency as well?
A country like Liberia can do it.
To fight gender-based violence.